It's these two Locas, the podcast.
Life. Wait, that's life.
Yeah,
life. From the movie Life.
Yes, I believe. Was that
about friendships?
That was about serving life in jail, but it
Oh.
was centered around the friendship of Eddie Murray and Martin Lawrence.
Eddie
Murphy.
Oh, I want to do like a highlights of every time you say someone's name incorrectly. We were gonna keep it running, but until then, this is These Two Locas. I'm Ika Kenya.
I'm Jay Gill.
And
Salty.
Oh, no, for salty, baby. No, that's how you smooth it over. This is episode 2.
And this podcast is brought to you by friendship, because this is what we're here for.
Friendship.
A dime a dozen.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about friendships as adults.
Let's talk about the struggle, people.
The struggle.
And why? Why do you think this topic needs to be said?
Yeah. So tell us what's on your heart.
On my heart is that friendship as adults are hard. Nobody
Really?
talks to you about maintaining friendship after those constructs of school education systems and forced play dates.
Yeah, well, give us an example of like why it's hard, like a specific situation, a scenario.
Oh, I will tell you about my life, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, folks, let's talk about adulting and moving out of your community. So right before I met you, which now has been at this current date 9 years ago, I decided to make the leap to leave Boston, my home 617 all day, every day. And I will always work hard.
Boston.
And moved to the Big Apple, aka East Harlem, in the pursuit of myself, in the pursuit of finding some answers to who I wanted to do. And I've always wanted to live in New York. It has always called me from my young visits here in the summers to see my dad and my birth father, be your father. And New York was always something that drove me. I felt like it was a city that was for me. And I moved, and one of the things they don't tell you about moving is making friendships. They don't. Nobody was here. I had my father and my cousin, who had been living here all her life. She was at a different point in her life.
And you had already, at this point, grown up with your cousins as your friends. So now
I had other friends.
I just picture you like in your family commune.
All surrounded by café children.
Yeah, weering burlap sacks.
No. I by then had actually made
churning your own flan. I don't know.
Churning
flan.
Maybe more like mangou.
Yeah.
But no, I had made some friends. I'm very fortunate that I did have some. But when you come into a new city, it's like, where do you go? Where do you start? And I tried-ish. I did some meetups.
Okay.
I tried to make friendship, but it was always very weird. And I think New York has a particular flair of what you got. Like, so what are you? What you got? What are you doing? Like, how can this friendship benefit me, us? How can we build this network? And I wasn't there at that age. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with myself. So it was hard kind of meeting people like, what do you do? And it's like, I'm a case manager.
Yeah.
I was
I'm what's our connection?
Yeah. Outside is like, I don't know.
So the hard part for you was making friends.
It was really making friends. Just seeing people and be like, hey, do you want to hang out?
That makes sense.
How do you ask someone like, do you want to hang out?
I never thought about that.
That's not sexual. You know what I'm saying? If I'm trying to get it, I can figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, what's up? Maybe we could go chill.
So maybe you needed to flirt with people in order
How
to
do you
make
flirt
friendships?
as a friend, right?
I mean, I always did it.
You always flirted?
I always flirted. Now it's a different time. I would mind my flirting now.
But you were flirting with your friends, or you just flirting with anybody?
Flirting with anybody, friends. Yeah. That's when I hear that you say that. I'm like, well, listen. One, I grew up in New York, so
you just flirt from day one.
Yeah, flirting from day one. I've always had a way of I see something special or something that I like in someone, and it's my need to like empower people, because like I don't know, for me it's like interesting. Like one of my best friends from high school, when I met her in school, like we were teens at the time, but she was like crying in the corner, and like for me, like seeing her crying, like I wanted to know the story, and then I wanted to like build her up. So I don't know what, internet psychiatrist. Y'all can tell me.
That sound like saving a hoe.
So, yeah, man. Oh,
maybe you wanted to save a hoe.
Maybe I did. But like my way of like building you up and like showing you how much you mean and care, and like what I want you to see, what I see in you, I end up flirting. I mean, if you leave your grandma home with me, I'm gonna flirt with her. That's just how.
I'm gonna definitely flirt with the old grandma.
Yeah, like it's just my way of like. It's the only way I know how to show like you're awesome. So I kind of want to like flirt and like So I've always done that, and that's how I think in a non-sexual way. So I feel like that's how women, for me, like I've always been one of those that I was never in a position where I said, oh, I didn't have like a lot of female friends. I always had lots of women, like whether they were associates, colleagues,
like friends or
passerbys. There's different degrees. I mean, just like women in my life that I have, even if we were friends for a period of time, I flirted with them. I feel like, and that's how I feel like they're not used to that from other women. It's flirting in a non-sexual way.
Is it called appreciation? Like when you're like, yes, girl.
Yeah.
Yes,
but I'm just like, ooh, yes.
No, you be touching.
Yeah,
That's what me and you.
I'm a very touchy, feely person. Again, different times now. So I'm just glad.
COVID now.
No, it's like, no, there's like all these conversations about consent. So I'm not trying to like, go over the line. But it was a different time. It was the 90s,
It was the 90s.
Yeah, J-Lo was dating Diddy. Was it? It was the 2000s.
The internet just came away.
Yeah, so it's different. But I'm happy I'm an adult now in this age because, I'm cool with the friends and people I got in my life.
Flirt no more.
I gotta flirt no more. But I think I tend to do that. Like, anyway, like, yes, girl, like looking snatched.
I always gotta touch.
I don't know. I
gotta touch. I'd be like, that's great.
Yes, and I give hugs, and I'm very affectionate. I want to spoon. I have spooned many of friends. I really also have made out with a lot of my girlfriends.
For the record, we have never, and as y'all
no,
it could never happen because that's just not who
that's just not who she is. But I feel like
spoon with me.
Well, I have a good track record of making out with my friends. But let me tell you something.
That is like the opposite of me. I have never made out with
and you may or may not have met these friends I've made out with.
I have never.
Listen, I don't
yes, talk about what
people,
is your friendship
what it is? I think like I have made them so comfortable that when they got a little alcohol, they were like, they want to see what that's like.
I want to see more of our friends.
Yeah. And I want to say I never pursued making out with my friends. My friends have all pursued making out with me. I'm just going to put that out there.
True story.
It's true. I'm not lying.
True story.
Ron witnessed this.
I believe it.
Yes.
I have
those
friends.
He would be like, what is happening? It was
you just provide a level of like maybe comfort and
yeah.
acceptance that allows them to be a little bit more free.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is. Uninhibited. Like, come out their shell. I mean, it's always like when they had a little alcohol and courage. Yeah, that like my friends want to make out with me, like you're so beautiful.
So do you think they're really your friends? Because that's another conversation is when those friendships are.
They're not my friends anymore. A lot of them are not.
Maybe they just wanted to get in your head.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't always go that far. I'm just saying.
I love that it didn't always. That means that there's some that did.
Look at I'm a colorful person, obviously, and I had a colorful past. That's what I'm saying. But for me, friendship as an adult looks a little different than yours. But I don't think either way.
It's different ages, right? 20-year-old me is not looking at friendship the same way that 30-plus-year-old me has. Completely different mindset, completely different priorities.
Yeah, I'm not making out with you now. Sorry.
Oh,
sorry. No,
friends don't come trying to be me because friends have lips not happening.
No, I think in my 30s now, friendship is really based on different factors. Like I'm a mom now.
Right, respect.
Yeah, respect. Like, I have I'm building now a community of other moms. So like I don't annoy my friends who don't have kids with conversations about my child all day. Like I'm always very conscious about that, almost to a fault, where sometimes I might not even tell you stuff because I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to like.
First of all,
no, that's different. No, that's you. Yeah.
If you know me, I am a mommy friend.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's beautiful. That's what's so awesome about you. But not everybody's like that. Like, I think there's a lot of people who are like, damn, you talking about your kid again? And I try to be very mindful and just unload that to other tired moms who want to talk about their kids, and then leave you with all the fun parts of the story.
I love talking about your kid, and your kid is my godson.
Yeah, so I mean, you're different. So I'm like, no, you're gonna hear these stories.
I know you told me you was pregnant. I was like, so what we doing? How are we gonna deliver this baby?
Yeah, exactly. So that's a little different. Your role and relationship is different. But I would think other friends that we have, especially, I'm like, I'm not gonna unload, all of that, because when I didn't have a kid, I found that annoying about other.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, just because like. That sounds terrible.
We're here for authentic, honest conversation.
No, I'm gonna say it. Like, look, I mean, it wasn't like, oh, I'm not
a kid.
I didn't have a kid. That's all. I didn't want to. That's not my bag, like, and most of the time I just remember thinking, like, when I'm a parent, I want to be so conscious about, like, this is the topic of conversation all the time.
Right.
Because we're individuals before we become parents. So, like, I want to keep that, I want to keep what makes me special as an individual and what makes our relationship special. So I've always been conscious about it. So I guess, like, because it kind of, I was like, all right, like, I don't want to hear all of this.
Crossed over now.
Yeah. Yeah. And that sounds, I guess, kind of bad, but I mean, it is what it is. I feel like if we're being honest, if you're not, like, a lot of times, if you're not in a situation, you're in your and you're talking about, like, my 20s too,
right?
Like, in my 20s, I don't want to hear that. I'm out here in the streets.
Okay, I'm get laid. Talking about babies and diapers.
It ain't my life. And a lot of times too, I felt, a lot of folks presented parenthood as this, like, now all of a sudden you become really boring and matronly, and I was very conscious, like, no, I don't want to be that person. I still want to have fun. I want to find, it's a new fun and it's a new way, but I want to find how to make that work without alienating my friends who are not in the same situation.
Well, as a non-birthing person or child bearer watcher, be mindful of those friends that do have kids, because I try to be very conscious in terms of asking you how you are, and then asking, like, okay, so how's my godson?
And I appreciate that. Like,
talk to me about the kid.
That's important. I don't know how you feel, like, how you grew up with your mom. Did you see her have a lot of friends? Like, what were some of those examples, like, when you're younger and seeing your mom having adult friendships? No? Okay, that face is telling me a lot.
So that's, and I think that's also part of my friendship story, is I didn't see my mom have a lot of friends. The people that were always around were always family members.
Got it.
So, once in a while we would, but how do I put this politically correct? My mom's not one to have a lot of females around.
Okay.
And she also grew up in that mentality of you can't trust girls, or you can't trust women.
Yeah.
So again, the majority of the friends that she had were her sisters, and she came from a very big house of women and big house of cousins that were also women. So it was like my cousins were in the house, my aunts were in the house, and my older male cousins were in the house, and that kind of once in a while you'll see a sprinkle of somebody that's more family friend than just a random friend. Whenever there's a random girl at the house, I'd be like,
really?
Who is this?
You know what? This is really interesting. So my sister right now is researching, like, our family history and ancestry, and
Peruvian side.
On our shared Peruvian side. And one of the things she brought up was, like, I noticed the family are not, like, she's really, like, interested in this. And she's like, I noticed, like, the rest of the family is not really interested in learning about this. And it made me realize that I grew up, and I was like, yeah, I guess, like, I didn't really grow up that close with my family, my immediate family. However, we had so much extended family, chosen family. And my mom had a lot of friends that were, like, my aunties, and their children are my cousins.
Right.
So I just was like, oh yeah, I was fulfilled in another way, but, like, through the example of my mom having a lot of adult friendships. Now, the only thing I will say is that in her friendships, I have always noticed that she would be outed as the bossy one. And don't make a face, because I am not bossy. But so my mom is, was always that person, like, and I feel like if I was to take apart a piece of that, I've always been the orchestrator of friendship groups. And no. I would say I'm gonna call it a leader of friendship. groups. But that's how I grew up seeing her. She had chosen family, but always considered out of the group the bossy one. So
I wonder if traits get passed.
I don't. Like I said, I'm an orchestrator of love and support. Yes.
Friendship and community.
Yes, friendship leader. But yeah, so it's interesting how we don't realize like our parents are showing us how to have relationships, and then it's as we get older we realize like, oh, like maybe I'll change this, and maybe I will give my friends like, okay, what do you want to do?
Oh, choice?
I give them a choice.
Look at you opening up. Look at you changing the dynamics.
Exactly. We're breaking generational curses.
Yes, including friendships. Because those are generational curses too. Mm-hmm. Let's be mindful that this world has strategically placed women against women, communities against community, but we really all should just get along.
We really, really should. I've never been in a situation where I've been like, oh, I don't trust women. Like I don't have a lot of, I just kind of consider every new friendship or relationship as a new opportunity to get to know someone. So I'm not going to like, if it went sour with someone else, I'm not really going to place that. Yeah, I'm not going to place that on like all girls can't be trusted. They suck. Exactly. Like you can't always be the victim. Like what you doing?
That's a friendship truth right there. You can't always be the victim.
You can't. Like there's a level of responsibility. Even when I was in a unhealthy, toxic relationship in my past, like for me, the strength came out of like, all right, well, there were choices that I made. Obviously there was, some manipulation on that person's part, and there's all this other stuff. But, I find empowerment in like, what did I do in this situation that wasn't healthy, and what could have I done? So all that to say is that's how I look at making friends as an adult. Like it's a two-way. I'm back to here.
We're back.
I'm back to here. It just never feels. I need to be.
Gotta be open. You need to be open.
I gotta be closer to you. So
you wants to feel the rub.
I do. I need to.
That's why we sit thigh to thigh all the time.
Yes, it's how I know. Right yeah, it's the energy.
That was the first moment I think too when you're like. You're just like, wait. I was like, yeah, I know my thighs touching.
Yeah.
Kind of just.
But yeah.
Friendship barriers were broken.
I'm trying to think now. When I make friends, it's just like what, common interest, right? Like that's what we base it off of.
Which is a good way if you're finding yourself right now feeling like I don't have friends, or the friends that I have aren't supporting me, or just bringing enough, or maybe you want to explore, go towards your common interests, right? Yeah. When I came here, I had a full meltdown in front of boyfriend. I was like, I ain't got no friends here in New York. And the first thing I did was I was like, well, what do I like to do? Yeah. And I started volunteering. Guess what? I made many homies for life.
Yes.
And then, I think that brought me to you in many ways.
Oh. Yeah, see, it comes full circle, baby.
Try. There are people out there. If you feel isolated, know that there's somebody out there in the world that understands you.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't understand you, but they're willing to learn, because Lord knows I don't understand Miko.
Yes. And I don't understand J. Gill all the time.
I don't know why though.
Because you have things like when you said you were like, oh, I don't like chicken, but was eating some chicken nuggets or something, some chicken tenders. Like and I was like, well, that's chicken.
But it's fried chicken or breaded chicken.
Okay, then you would have to have said, I don't eat grilled chicken.
I eat it if I have. It's not my favorite.
So you eat chicken. I think if a chicken is going in your mouth and sliding down your throat, you are an eater of chicken.
I eat chicken. It's just not my favorite.
Yes. But it was just funny. Like you were like, I don't eat chicken. And I'm like,
I know what I said.
Oh, bitch, you eat chicken?
I eat chicken. I just don't always want it. I would prefer lobster.
Well, you're gonna have to get a friend with a wallet for lobster,
because we like lobster.
Yeah,
we like seafood.
So friend.
We
take
like
us out.
Sushi. If you want to be that kind of friend,
I'll make you feel good.
We'll be those
Maybe
friends
get a
that
kiss.
always accept an offer for free.
Yes,
good food.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that concludes a piece of what it is to be a friend as an adult. Listen, if you're still out there, no matter the age of your adulthood, there's people out there for you. Yeah. Bingo, meetups, parties. I can't wait to get to the
Bingo
age
80.
Bingo meetup is popping.
I definitely want to do my Atlantic City trips.
Yeah.
With my old lady friends.
I love the little slot machine. I love the slot machine.
Yeah.
You can send me there, and No, we're not going to talk about it. Guys, it's
Yes.
another episode. This is episode 2. We made it.
Yes.
We are here. We're still with the Gab. And we're here for all conversations on friendship. So, Ms. Mika, if you got nothing else to say?
Nah, with these two locas, Mika Kenyon.
Jay Gill.
Bye.
Bye-bye.